love competitively people watching with my friend Alex. Whenever we have the time to hang out, we window shop cafes. We search for the widest, clearest window possible, and I find those usually belong to those little French cafes, and then we get down to business. Once we're sat down by the cafe window with our fair share of sustenance, we watch the passerby and see who can come up with better origin stories for each of them. That little old frail lady walking over there with her stroller, but oh, when she moves, you can see the start of a dragon tail tattoo. Definitely a teenage rebel who got matching tattoos with her boyfriend, only to ditch him after 40 years of dilly-dallying about for her greater, truer love in life. Cats! And that moody teenager over there, sulking by the garbage cans, actually a mama's boy who's waiting for his mother to come back from grocery shopping so he can ask her whether his soda can belongs in the garbage can or the recycling bin. Though Alex may not look like an extrovert at first, trust me, once you get Alex started talking, it's impossible to get Alex to stop. And though, while my competitive self hates to admit it, Alex's ability to spin hilariously wonderful tales almost rivals that of yours truly. Every moment we spent together ended in us laughing so hard we cried. It was, for lack of better words, a good, goofy time. And there was never a moment we felt awkward in each other's presence. That is, until one random day in December when Alex told me that he no longer used he/him pronouns, but that they felt more comfortable with they/them pronouns instead. Now, this change was a lot for me to take in. Before entering high school, I had only ever been surrounded by cisgender people. And in my head, I knew that queer people existed, but they were never part of my world, part of the world. Yes, but mine? I had grown up in a fairly sheltered community, thinking that biological sex and gender were practically synonyms, and that the world was a clean 50-50 divide between boys and girls. Now, first of all, this simple ratio wasn't even correct, but I wish it was, because it would have made a lot of math assignments easier. But neither were the confines I had limited the gender spectrum by, and those unconscious limitations eventually became an obstacle for my friendship with Alex. Now, when referring to Alex, I had to mentally expend effort in catching and correcting myself so that I would use their correct pronouns. But for me, this was hard because Alex still looked like a boy, or at least society's definition of what a boy should look like. And the effort I had to make to use their correct pronouns created a divide between our friendship. Our friendship had always been an easygoing one, filled with endless jokes and uncontrollable laughter, but it was like Alex's new non-binariness brought a new layer of seriousness to our friendship. I was afraid of doing anything that could possibly offend them or their gender identity in any way. And whereas once Alex and I had sat by the window together, watching the passerby, Alex was now the passerby that I was observing through the window, alone. The more I thought that Alex was a different person, the less frequent our text message exchanges became. Before, it had seemed like we would never, ever run out of things to talk about. I mean, there was just so much to cover. But now, when I saw them, all I could think of was, hey, how has school been going lately? Or, have you seen this terrible weather we've been having recently? Which is quite befitting of Vancouver. You know, agreeable conversation topics made for friendly acquaintances, not long acquainted friends. So, imagine how shocked I was when what was supposed to be a group outing between all of our friends turned into just a hangout between me and Alex after everybody else ditched at the last possible minute. From the moment we sat down in the cafe, my mind frantically raced for topics that could last for more than 2 minutes, anything to prevent the awkward silence that could ensue. My mind raced to every piece of standard, safe, and socially acceptable topic I could think of. But small talk is small. Eventually, a lengthy, miserable silence fell upon us. Then, Alex pointed at a customer who had just walked into the cafe, donned in a suit and a tie with a gelled hairdo higher than my grades, and said, "They sure look ready to pass their job interview." For the next rendition of Hairspray, I paused for a moment. Oh, the game was on. No, just look at those dejected eyes. I bet they were just the groom at a wedding with a no-show bride. After a few more rounds, we were dying of laughter, laughing so hard that the nearby tables turned around to glare at the crazy pair of teenagers who were disrupting their lunch break. It was just like old times. And in that moment, something clicked. All of this time, I had been believing in an illusion. The illusion that Alex was different now because they were non-binary. And this false belief made me lose sight of what truly mattered. No matter what gender Alex may be, it doesn't change the fact that they're an amazing friend. It doesn't change the fact that they have a worryingly good imagination, or the fact that they win second place in my heart for having the best sense of humor. And it doesn't change the fact that they can people watch with me for hours on end like no other. And all of a sudden, Alex was no longer a passerby I was observing through the window. We were sitting together again, on the same side of the window, watching passerby. You see, when someone close to you changes, it can feel like a big, bumbling giant has taken your world and turned it inside out and upside down. And when that kind of thing happens, you're bound to feel crummy. Maybe even as crummy as the rejected groom Alex and I saw earlier in the cafe. You might feel betrayed, or you might feel confused. You might even feel scared. Feeling all those emotions doesn't make you a bad person. But overcoming those emotions makes you not only a good person, but an even better friend. For me, it all came down to doing something Alex and I both love together again. People watching. For you, it might be different. Your favorite memories with your friend may be of eating insanely hot chili peppers together, reenacting scenes from old English plays, singing devastating songs in keys that are equally as devastating, or maybe even hiking up to the very tippity top of a mountain in the wee hours of morning. Actually, I take that back. Hiking is never enjoyable, even with a friend. No matter the case, I hope that you at least walk away today with one important point in mind. Reach for what you know. Reach for what you know, because when you do so, your friendship won't suffer a blow.